Hey guys, Scott Baker here back in Buffalo, and if you're a sailor and you like sailing fast, wait till you see this boat that just showed up here. It's the Beneteau First 30, and it's got a lot of great surprises in it. All right, the Beneteau First 30, let's take a look. What do we got here? First of all, she's inside the barn here at RCR Buffalo. She's getting worked on after having just been delivered, and there's a few things to do before we get this boat out to its first owner, whoever that's going to be. And you notice something missing right here. We got some keel bolt holes where the keel bolts will go up through. The keel will be right there. It's a work in progress at this point. The keel on this boat is a modern fin keel with a T-bulb. It's going to give great riding moment and keep the draft reasonable to like 6.5 feet or so. You're looking at about 2,300 pounds or so of weight there in a cast iron keel that's not there. It's hard to show a keel when it's not there, but I'll put it up here on the screen here so you can see what it looks like. But the bottom of this boat is very clean, very flat, and this boat is designed to plane. This boat is designed to get up on a plane downwind fairly easily and go fast, and that's pretty fun. So what do we got up at the very front? A big bowsprit sticking out, and we're going to have a big asymmetrical come off of that, and that's going to be the horsepower we need to get this boat up and over its own wave and going. A nice plumb bow and a nice fine entry here, and the boat has good vertical sides on the top sides here. There's a port light on the side, the top sides there. There's the chain plates up there on the outboard end of the boat, on the outboard side, so easy to see and inspect them. And in the back section here, we're going to have 2 rudders, nice, long, tall, high aspect ratio rudders that are going to keep this boat tracking straight and keep it in full control. And it has an inboard diesel. There's a Yanmar, like a 14-horse diesel on here, and a nice, beautiful, brand new Flexifold folding prop that reduces drag when we're underway, so this boat will get up and go. So there's not a lot of protuberances here on the bottom of this boat. There's a water inlet for the engine, and there is a sink and a system like that, but there's not much else. There'll be a speedo probably up here, and there's a depth transducer, but beautiful clean lines on this Beneteau First 30. And yeah, I cannot wait to sail one of these things. They're just gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, fast equals fun, and that's what this boat is all about. It's kind of said, hey, let's get things simple and go fast and have a lot of smiles, okay? And all right, let's climb up the ladder and see what we got up above. Okay, as we clear up and get to the deck level, or the cockpit level, I guess, of this boat, let's take a look around. First of all, my hand is right here on a swim platform that lowers down, and that makes it kind of fun for cruising. If you want to go swimming or get somebody back on board the boat, a swim platform is a great place to do it. There's a shore power inlet, so we have some AC battery chargers and outlets on the boat. And this boat, which just won in the European Yacht of the Year for performance in 2026, that's right at Dusseldorf, is designed as, I would call it, a racer cruiser. You could take this boat out and do some cruising. There's places to sleep. It's comfortable down below. We'll see that in a little bit. But they mixed the fast with the fun and the accommodation. So there's a swim ladder that can fold down, and we're looking at a tiller. There's no wheels on this boat. It's meant to be a good sailing boat, and a wheel and everything like that would be extra weight that would take away from the fun factor. In order to get this boat up on a plane, they got to keep it as light as possible, and so you'll see a lot of effort was made to keep this boat as light as they could. So we have the top of the rudder post here, and way over here, way outboard, so nice wide stance for the rudders to keep the boat tracking straight. And if the boat was heeled over on one side, that rudder, the deep rudder, would be doing all the work. So again, shore power, nice wide cockpit back here, lots of room, and two nice bench seats there. And then we got the companionway and things forward. So what a nice looking cockpit. So I'm pretty impressed with the layout on this design here, and thinking to myself, I remember growing up on like a CNC 29 or racing on something like that. There just wasn't hardly any room to get around each other. And on this boat, it's like tons of room on a 30-foot boat. Let's go over some of the specs on this boat so we just understand what we're dealing with here. The length overall is about 30 feet 8 inches. Now, when you add the bowsprit in, you're going to get it to 33 feet 11 inches. So that bowsprit is sticking out there like over 3 feet. The beam, 9'9". So nice, wide, and really stable. And, you know, that's great. The draft with the keel that we have is 6.5 feet, 6 foot 6 inches. And it's got a nice tall mast, about 48, call it 48.5 feet or so of draft to get underneath bridges. And it displaces around, a maximum of just under 7,000 pounds, 6,945, depending on how you outfit it. It could be a little less, could be a little more. The ballast that we talked about before was 2,360, 2,360 pounds. Okay, let's talk about sail area. Going upwind, the boat's going to have 624 square feet of sail area, but downwind, 1,356 square feet of sail. That's going to get this thing to hop out of the water and get up on a plane, and that's where the fun really begins. So I think when you get this boat going on a little bit of waves maybe, and heading downwind with the big kite up, it's going to hit speeds at a plane in like the mid-teens, depending on your wind conditions. You know, it's certainly possible. I think it's certainly achieved speeds like 18 knots before. And so that's the kind of thing you can expect with the Beneteau First 30. So let's take a look, starting at the bow here. What we have, the big sprit is the furthest point out. We're sticking over the top of a J9 here, so little look at a J9 while we're here. But look at the sprit here. It has a couple attachment points on it, and the forestay is right at the end of the white tier right here. And coming back into the boat now, we have really strong rails on both sides acting like a bow pulpit so that you can stay on the boat. We have a nice big anchor locker here, very deep, got a lot of room in there to put plenty of road for your anchor. And even the anchor itself, if you want. If you're racing, you might bring the anchor back into the middle of the boat. But if you're cruising, and this boat is a racer cruiser, you might have the anchor and everything right up there. You could toss the anchor over and have it come straight up to the cleats. There's nice bow cleats. And all these rails have really nice anchor points at the base of them to make sure that it's a strong safety network coming around to keep you on the boat. There's 3 stanchions going back to the push pits at the back of the boat, and safety is of a big concern. Right in the middle of this really big, wide foredeck area here is a nice big foredeck hatch. If you were racing and you wanted to bring sails up and down, that hatch is going to be great. We're dealing with a big, wide open, expansive area with that famous Beneteau non-skid, which just has a lot of life in it, a lot of longevity. It stays grippy forever, it seems. In the middle of the top of the cabin roof here, we have the mount for the mast. It's a deck step mast, and all the attachment points there to turn the lines and head them all back to the cockpit are here. So everything is run back to a couple of nice self-tailing Harken winches and clutches here from Spinlock. Everything's designed to, with rollers like this here, to bring them back and then to lead them into the winch at great angles. The same setup over here. The lines come through the stoppers to the roller, up to the winch, so that you can get adjustment on anything you want. As we step into the cockpit then, we see the 2 big bench seats. This huge space of this cockpit is just great. We got 2 more big Harken winches here. These are also self-tailing. And the Traveler is a nice Harken arrangement coming right across the middle here. So if we were racing, we would have the helmsman sitting right out here. Really comfortable seating areas and great places to view forward, as well as the main sheet trimmer right in front of them, which is what I like to have, is sort of the 2 people driving the boat upwind right alongside each other. And then when we pop the kite and start heading back, you know, we start moving weight around to get the boat balanced well. Let's take a look at what we had here. We talked already about the swim ladder. This side has a little hatch in the back for the propane. This is, like I said, a racing cruiser, so there's a stove down below and needs propane. And on this side, we have a deep storage area there, which has a mesh bag there around the top of it. And if you drop anything in there, it's going to go to the bottom of the bag, but not to the bottom of the boat. And you won't have to find things down in the bilges. That's nice. Here's the fill for the diesel. Notice it's got red around it so that you don't confuse that and put water in there or think it's for waste. There's a bilge pump unit here. No locker on this side, but there are attachment points here for sail line bags. There's also some back here and on the other side as well. Over there, there's one over there too. But this is a nice feature on this boat. Check out this locker. It's going to be hard to show this with the camera, but whoa, this space is enormous. So there's a head holding tank way back in there. I swear you could literally make a bed in here if you tried. There's the fuel tanks, a lot of storage. You could put tables in here, obviously all the fenders, all the sails. There's hoses down in there. You could climb in there and almost have headroom in there too. So an enormous, it goes all the way back underneath that locker back there. So it's like, the garage on this boat, I guess. And what do we got for instruments? Garmin. Looks like a bunch of Garmin displays. This looks like an autopilot and a compass and a big chart display and another multi-readout here. This hatchboard here flips up or down. Here's the up position. You can just flip this down, get the hatchboards out, push this up and out of the way. And what do we have up here? Oh, combo lock. That's nice. So you don't have to lose a padlock or find it or whatever. You can combo lock the boat. So what did we miss? Anything here up on the deck? The chain plates are out here on the side. Really easy to monitor them and make sure everything's attached well. It's simple. It's a very simple design. It's clean. There's not a lot of things to bang your toes on. There's not a lot of complications to this boat. It's just like getting back to sailing here. Put the sails up, hold on. It's really kind of fun. So the next thing we'll do is go down below, but pretty impressed with my first look at a First 30 here. It just is simple, it's fast, it's fun. I've watched a bunch of videos on the boat sailing. Maybe I'll throw a link in my video to one that Toby Hodges did in Europe over there. He went sailing and showed off how the boat flies through the water. And really impressive. And yeah, that's the upper outside sections of the Beneteau First 30. Okay, we've been talking about a lot of the racer parts of the racer cruiser. Now let's take a look at some of the cruising parts of this boat. Let's talk about some of what we have here as we look around. Pretty nice first look, huh? It's very clean, very tidy. Well, let's just give you some specs on this boat as we look around a little bit. 14 horsepower Yanmar, 10.5 US gallons of fuel, 26 gallons of water. Headroom down below is 511 I think it's bigger in some places and smaller in others. There's a step on the floor here. The near area is got more headroom than the far area. Yeah, and just looking things over here, it's just really, really simple and clean. So we like that. All right, so at the bottom of the companionway steps, the floor is we're standing right on the bottom of the boat, and that is not wood, it's cork. So great traction and soft on the feet and really nice and a really great idea. Everything that these guys did to make this boat was designed to make it lighter and simple and cost less. And we'll talk more about that a little bit while too, but look at this. There's an aft cabin with a huge double bed. Gonna get all the way in here. Now you're underneath the cockpit here, but lots of room and a little area here. There is a potential of having a door right here on the inside to cover up this whole door here. And the door isn't made of wood. It's made out of a synthetic material that's really light and somewhat inexpensive too. So, and there's also like a cabinet that they can build on the wall there too. So those are options there. And right here in the foreground then we have this galley. And, you know, if we're going to go cruising, we need a little place to prep some food. So let's see. First we got to, have to have cupboards. So big storage space here to put, oh, it goes way back there. Odds and ends, pots and pans. There's a little mesh netting here that'll keep plates and things in place. The stove here is gimbaled. It's a little propane stove, and there's a solenoid safety system on it. Back here is an area which is great for a garbage can bin. So you can probably even divide that into recycling and garbage if you wanted to, but a place for trash. And then we have a nice stainless steel sink here. And yeah, there's a pump that makes the water run. So we have a freshwater pump running here. And then in the foreground here, we have this little counter that pops up to give ourselves a little extra counter space to work on. And under the counter, we have more storage. Here's a nice drawer for utensils and silverware. And then below that, a big, deep locker you could put pots and pans in. And the only thing missing here is a refrigerator, right? Guess what? Other side of the boat, over here, we got a big refrigerator. Not a huge refrigerator, but a big one. It's nice. You can certainly put a lot of pops in there and all the things you need to keep cold. There's an adjustment on there. So while we're over here, let's take a look up above the refrigerator. We have a very nice Garmin VHF radio and our little electrical panel. And we got, let's see, electronics for our instruments out in the cockpit, control there for nav lights, steaming lights, deck lights, anchor lights. There's a major lighting element that's red right now. And a bilge pump port and starboard and a freshwater pump. And of course the fridge unit. So, and then a neat feature of this electrical panel here too is let's see if I can zoom out a little bit here, is look at this. You can get easily to the back of all these electronics and see how nicely this is all done. Everything is neatly done, and this is locks up here easily, and that's your electrical panel. We got some lights up, controls in front of it, and I think this is an AC plug here. Yep, the place to plug in any AC device you have there, and there's a Garmin autopilot control right there too. So sticking in the back section or the aft section of the area down here below decks, the last thing is the head. And again, this will have a door that's made of this synthetic material, this sort of textile synthetic material that is really light, but gives you total privacy in the head. And we have a nice sort of European sink here with a pull-out shower. Yep. So this is a wet head shower. There's a drain on the floor over here and a nice hand-controlled toilet here. And then there's a nice rod that comes across here to hang up wet foul weather gear, and it can hang into this little bin area here. Right now it's got lines and things in it for the deck that haven't been just put out yet, but great space. And then there's this really neat little doorway too. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. There it is. Well, that's the big, huge storage cockpit locker back there. And you got access here to put things in there too. So really big, pretty spacious head for a 30-foot racer cruiser, I have to say. There is an opening port here to get some ventilation in here, a little mirror too. Yeah, all the things you need. Of course, lighting, pretty nice. So let's spin around, look at the under lighting. Let's see if we can get some up here too. Oh yeah, look at that up there. Just nice and bright down here. First you got these port light windows on the sides that are kind of sharp and pointy and fast looking, and then down in the top sides there, the nice big rectangular port lights just let a lot of light in here. The compression post is right here as we get into the area, and right in front of that is this big table. And I'm just going to sit down here on the starboard side looking port. And yeah, I can look right out that window and see what's beside me. And looking back over here, there's, you know, a nice place to sit. A little less headroom in this section of the boat here because of the step here, but it's not so bad. And behind the back of the seats here, there's like a big area here that can be used to throw duffel bags or things like that. And underneath these seats here too, there's storage bins all the way across there. Goes all the way across. So those are really nice and helpful. Let's just take a look at what this looks like with the table up. I'll just do half of it there, but you get the idea. It's a great place to sit. You can certainly put 4, maybe 5 or 6 people at down these bench seats here and having a meal and getting out of the elements. And then, of course, you can sleep a person on each side when it comes time for sleeping. Going forward again, there's a set of sort of like French doors that comes across here. Again, they're made of that synthetic material that's really light. We're keeping things light on the boat here. We got the cork floor again up here, and then a nice big V-berth, as I understand, is the same size as you'll find on their 36-foot boat, like over 6 feet long. Plenty of room for a couple to sleep in there. And then here's a view of that big foredeck hatch here too. If we needed to, we could get underneath a gigantic storage area up here too. But yeah, just sitting on this and looking aft with the doors open here on both sides, just opens up the whole area down below. And you know, it's not a luxurious cruising yacht down here, but it's really well laid out for a crew that might be at a race or a family that wants to go out for a weekend and have places to you know, make meals and keep things cold and eat at a nice table and have comfortable beds to sleep in. Yeah, it's really a very nicely laid out racer cruiser. One more space to explore. That's the area here underneath the companionway steps where the little Yanmar 14 horse is. Here's the boat's battery right in the foreground here too. We're keeping the weight right in the center of the boat, nice and low. Very simply done, well laid out. These stairs here drop down. It's done right here with a handle. Not hard to get those up and to look around. And yeah, really great layout down below on the Beneteau First 30. So let's wrap this up. The Beneteau First 30, European Boat of the Year in the performance category for 2026. So that has the cast iron deep keel 6'6" draft. It has the Club Racer pack, the black exterior styling on the you know, the stanchions and the pulpits and things. And so the Beneteau First 30, Really unique boat. To have a 30-foot boat that you can get up on a plane, get going 15 knots downwind. You're gonna, I don't care if you come in last in a race, you're gonna have big smiles on your face and you're gonna have so much fun on this boat. It's what it's all about, making some memories, going fast, having stories to tell, and this boat is gonna pack a lot of them in for not very much money. That's it. I'm Scott Baker from RCR Yachts. Want a yacht? Call Scott. We'll talk to you next time.